Okay, it's Sister Wives, the big show, what everybody is here for.
Or you're driving me to drink.
Okay, so Sister Wives, season 14, episode, can't quite get my bun in the shot. Sister Wives, my bun. Sister Wives, season 14, episode 12, Robyn and Kody. So,
I totally just spilled on myself.
oh my gosh,
Like
you
a
did
slob.
all down your shirt. So I looked very briefly at Twitter, and I think, based on the Twitter comments that I'm seeing,
that everyone is wrong on the internet.
That we might have an unpopular opinion on how we're reading this. So if you disagree with us,
you're wrong.
That's totally fine. So, longtime viewers, I want your feedback if you see things differently. Just don't be nasty in the comments.
Or read between the lines.
No, stop it. Just don't be nasty in the comments. If you call us terrible names,
I got thick skin.
You have thick skin. I read the comments, so I'll tell you who gets...
That is how that goes.
And I wore a particularly telling shirt today.
Yes.
Anyway, so we're still on with Kody and Robyn and this house thing. And I think I finally distilled my feelings about it, which is...
He's a bad person... And he's a bad person.
So he sold them all on this idea that they would move to Flagstaff and they would be able to build on this house. Janelle's bought a house, Christine's bought a house. Okay, so their group, their family money, even if it's being kept separately, we all know their family money is diminishing. The amount of money that they're getting from TLC is probably, based on what comments I've read and things I've read on the internet, is probably pretty close to barely covering their costs. So right now they have a big chunk of money in the bank, Robyn does, because she sold her house. So she's looking at that money. I have no idea. I have no idea if it's like $50,000, $200,000. I have no idea, because you don't get, when you sell a house for however much, $500,000, you don't get $500,000 if you have an outstanding mortgage, which I assume they did. I don't know.
Well, they're known to make great decisions, so...
So when Kody is saying, we have to buy this house... She knows...
I am one for direct conversation, even if it's hard,
honest.
Even if it's tough, I am one for confrontation. Mm-hmm. So this is if they need a confrontation, they need a confrontation. But what tells me they're all in some delusional fantasy land is, hey, here's the bottom line. If we don't have a place to live by this time, then you're moving in with a sister wife.
Well... And I want to talk about that. I want to finish my point, but I want to say that it bothers me that nowhere in all these episodes have they even addressed the fact that Robyn's family is not going to be out on the street. Maybe they'll address it next week.
Because it's a farce.
Well, the thing is that they could move in with their sister wife. Now, maybe they had a conversation.
But they would actually have to live what they say they believe.
Now, admittedly, she has 5 children. Now, maybe Dalton goes and gets a roommate. You're in college. It's so easy to find someone whose roommate moved out or moved in with his girlfriend or something. Maybe he finds a place. Then maybe the 2 oldest go and stay with Mary, and the 2 younger, one and Robyn, go stays with someone. Janelle's down to... I didn't realize Janelle's down to 2 kids at home. Anyway, but nowhere in there have they discussed it. Because I think that there's not a good reason. The reasoning is we don't want to share a home. But they make it sound like she's going to be homeless. But let me get back to my original point, which is when Robyn says she doesn't want to buy a house, it's because, and she said it, which is then we can't build out at Coyote Pass. And everyone's just playing this make-believe that magically they'll just have the money. Now, I don't know whether it's that they're saying, hey, next year we'll have TLC money again, so we'll use that to build. Maybe that's the reality of it. But the fact that they haven't even addressed it and said... So I get her frustration, which is Kody has maneuvered them into a situation where he promised them something, and now...
You mean he sold them on some BS project that he dreamed up so he could move somewhere?
Yes. So a lot of people... The reason I say it's an unpopular opinion is that a lot of people on Twitter, in the 5 seconds I looked, seem to be blaming this 100% on Robyn, that she's being delusional.
That's half a minute too long, honey.
Okay. But the point is, I feel that this all lands on Kody because he has maneuvered them into a situation where they cannot they cannot do what she promised her children they could do.
And this brings me full circle to why I hate these shows. This is still only my, let's say my second favorite. My third favorite being, and I hate it very much, 90 Day Fiancé. I watch the show and I see poor people, sometimes literally, getting taken advantage of. And it hurts my soul. Like,
what about Seeking Sister Wife? I don't even know if that's even coming back.
It's gross. I feel gross on the inside.
So I don't blame. My thing is, I blame this. I lay this squarely on Kody because he sold them this pipe dream. They all told their kids.
I agree 100%.
Yes, Robyn may need to buy a house, but I still feel like I feel like that's Kody's fault. So anyway, let's just dig into the actual episode. They want 5 Robyn. They're trying to avoid a fight. They have 5 days. They are already under 30 days. He said 45 days.
Like
30 days closing is about as short as you can get. I don't know if you can even get that short.
I mean, I've done quicker.
Well, we sold the house 10 days, but it was cash. It was a terrible deal for us, but it is gone.
I used to work in the real estate industry, not as a realtor, but it's somebody with the money.
Title insurance.
Lending and making sure everything was legal and it's like you can do it quicker, but yeah, everything's got to be perfect and you have to have some money. Well, in our case, we sold a very small home 10 days, no inspection, and cash. That's the only way it could be done. And
So anyway, and I know there's always someone who swoops in and goes, "Oh, I don't know why you guys are so worked up. It's all fake." Okay, well, thank you for your opinion. Thank you, that's super helpful.
I didn't know Kody was the federal government that can just make up money at will.
I know, well...
I didn't know. If I knew, I would have viewed this whole series completely differently.
I think it breaks down to is that if they don't have TLC money, they're all going under, because from what I can tell...
From what he said, he can just make money up, like the federal government.
Oh, well, so we start off the episode with Kody saying, I want to get the kids involved so that they like the house so they can convince Robyn. And I'm like, that is the most screwed up dynamics I've ever heard.
Come on, it's the first thing you learn in Let's Get a Divorce 101.
Right. I mean, it's just terrible. This is, I've had friends who have gone through this where parents, when they were, their parents used them as pawns. It was never a good thing. It was never like, yes, my father, I love him so much. I remember when he used me a pawn in a complicated game of chess with my mom, and
I remember when my dad threw all my toys in the trash, but
because he was mad at your mom.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I don't understand this.
So then they go and look at these houses. Kody's flirting with the real estate agent the whole time. Even if he's joke flirting, I'm like, really, dude? Right now, you gotta trot out the, you could always...
He needs a newer, younger, better wife. Who's gonna pump out more kids.
And he goes, and I think it's the same real estate agent that they bought the Coyote Pass with, and I think he flirted with her then.
If you know that, we would like to know, because honestly...
I'm not gonna go look it up, but I think it's the same real estate agent.
Definitely don't care enough to look it up.
So he's like, if I buy this house, Robyn won't be living here with me. I guess you could. And I'm like, oh yeah, that is definitely the kind of jokes you should be making in front of your kids.
Was that to the real estate agent?
Yeah.
Okay. At least it wasn't alluding to incest.
Oh, no. I thought you meant he was...
I didn't know.
So he's talking about Robyn.
I wasn't paying attention.
He's talking about Robyn in front of the real estate agent. Oh, well, she doesn't want to... And I'm like, I am no marriage expert, but we are a team. I may tease him about stuff, but I would never throw you under the bus like that and make you look like less than. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. So
you're the smartest person I know.
I think we're both a little buzzed and a little loud. This will be the loudest episode. People at home can hear it.
Honestly, I'm having a great day. I got to do most of what I wanted.
Yeah, we had to take care of some business, and we are now on official lockdown, which I hope you guys are safe and healthy and are staying out of the public eye and still having your emotional health and all that. So we see Christine and Aspen Christine goes to see Aspen and Mitch. Now, this is my pitch for next season, which is recently Utah has decriminalized polygamy. Yes. Christine said how much she would love to live in Lehigh around their family again. They sell that property. they buy a polygamous home in Lehigh. I'm sure there's plenty of options up there. I'm sure it's cheaper. Well, I shouldn't say I'm sure.
I don't know anything about Lehigh, so I won't comment. I know it's not like super nice Utah because I'm pretty sure we looked at there when we moved.
The thing is though is if they live within an hour of Lehigh, they would be near family. Christine's mom is there. It was what I understood. It might be a different grandparent. Maybe they met Mary's mom. Anyway, that's my pitch. They sell Coyote Pass. They sell all these houses in Flagstaff.
Cody's the genius. He
always wanted to go back to Utah. Now it's decriminalized. So that's my pitch for season 15. Because they cannot have they will not have 2 more seasons of them trying to build on Coyote Pass. I have been wrong before because I never would have thought the family mission statement would make a season. It depends
how many wives he adds or subtracts.
If he adds a wife, he's definitely getting a 15th season. Anyway, Christine talks about how Robyn's going to move twice and Janelle's going to have to move twice. Doesn't even mention that Mary had to move 3 times.
Is she still a wife at this point?
Apparently not. And Christine shares that Kody is still very mad at her. So Kody is mad at Robyn. Kody is always been mad at Mary since the catfishing incident, which I think is like season 8 or 9. I'd have to go look. So he is not on good terms with anyone. We go back to oh, that was my thing. That my pitch is they move back to Utah. They're looking at schools and it's out of the school district and she's like, stop freaking out my kids. You're not going to have to switch schools, blah, blah, blah. Caleb and Madison come to visit. Cody's not even in the scene. Janelle has, I didn't realize Janelle had 2 kids at home, but I guess that makes sense because Logan and,
I know, don't even look at me.
The one who got so depressed when they moved to Vegas because he couldn't play football with his friends.
The wrestler kid.
Yeah, he was also a wrestler. They're both in the military. No, he went to the military. The other son went to the military. Logan, we haven't seen him in seasons. Logan's the one who's engaged to a girl and living with her.
Possibly.
And then, I guess she has 2 at home, and I'm like, wow, when did that happen? I just didn't even notice. So Robyn looks like she's legitimately having a breakdown. I know a lot of people think this is all a made-up storyline. I don't think so. I'm no expert, but I'm pretty good at telling when people are lying or bad acting, and I just to me, this looks legitimate. I could be wrong. Tell me in the comments. Do you think that she is? I think she's genuinely mad at Kody, and Kody is genuinely mad at Robyn.
And I mean, one of them all for confrontation and good at it and not afraid of it. Like,
I don't know.
Like I've never brought something to you
that
I didn't really feel passionately about. I mean, like,
well, he definitely feels passionate about it. What do you say?
There's just so much that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So one of my 4 wives doesn't have a place to live. I got 3 others. She can live with one of them.
Yeah, it really bothers me.
I mean, does it really matter that much?
So anyway, he calls the guy, calls him by the wrong name, and gives him all these, to me, outs to get out of this. And then basically forces Robyn that if they come back and say no, they have to sign on a place immediately. She's crying. Then he's like, I should have stayed in Vegas. I could have stayed at Fortune. As though it is the wife's fault that he is costing him a fortune. He picked a very expensive tourist town. I've mentioned this many times. We looked at houses there when we had to move. We actually ended up in a semi kind of ritzy area. Durango's a nice, expensive area, and it's cheaper than Flagstaff.
Right.
We lived a little farther out of Durango than they wanted to live outside Flagstaff.
But we looked at houses. Flagstaff. We couldn't afford anything.
And there was nothing within our price range that was even close to what we could get out here.
So anyway, was like, even if I landed a great job, we couldn't afford that.
So I don't have any sympathy. So I think some of that, when people are going on and on and on about Robyn being such a whiner and a crier, I just go, Kody has maneuvered this entire family of all the dozen kids at this point, 4 wives into a no-win situation and keeps promising them it'll work out. It's just...
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you there. It is definitely not a no-win situation.
You just can't be on
It is a Kody win situation.
What do you think he's going to win?
He's either going to go back to Utah or he's going to sell property and make some money. I mean, the world revolves around Kody.
Yeah, I mean...
And here's the thing.
Oh, what are you going to say?
Gosh, wow, that is so a you thing. What? Anyway.
Oh, here's the thing. I do say that a lot.
Here's the thing. Like, if you just look at this from if I was a bad person, how would I handle all this?
How would I manipulate everyone to get my way?
You would be Kody Brown.
He wants to be this real estate mogul. And he's getting them all into houses.
I'm a pretty smart person, and I think I'm a pretty smart person.
I know you think you're a smart person.
I really do. But I think you're smarter than me.
Oh, what is it? What? I appreciate we get into that on camera. Well, I'll save that and make that like something like my ringtone.
What I'm saying is, I don't think I know it all. I don't even think you think you know it all.
And he thinks he knows it all.
Absolutely he does, and he's a terrible person.
And they all end up going with him.
And then if you look at all his decisions throughout the history of the show, you go, oh yeah, if I was a terrible person, I'd make those decisions.
And they've only worked out because he has TLC money.
How do you not know your daughter hasn't had a drink in a whole week?
So we looked that up because Bull had mentioned that we skipped it last episode. Truly didn't want him to teach him bicycling, and somebody on Twitter was like, yeah, she nearly died on your watch. She was so severely dehydrated. She's like, no wonder she doesn't trust you.
If I don't give my kid a new drink in 2 hours, I feel like a terrible parent.
Our son drinks a lot of water, or very, very, very watered down applesauce.
A freaking
juice.
Week?
I know. Okay, do you have any last thoughts on this?
He's not in jail. He's a lucky guy.
Okay, there you go. You heard it here.